Welcome to our gardening journey. Today, we're diving into the enchanting world of roses. If you've ever dreamed of having your very own rose garden, you're in the right place. Let's start with the very first step, choosing the perfect rose variety for your home garden. Roses come in a dazzling array of shapes, sizes, and colors, each with its own unique charm. The first thing you need to consider is your personal preference. Do you want a rose that climbs gracefully along a trellis, or perhaps a compact bush that's perfect for a patio pot? Understanding your space and aesthetic goals is crucial. Let's break it down a bit more. There are several types of roses, each suited to different gardening styles and spaces. Hybrid tea roses, for instance, are the classic choice. Known for their long stems and large, elegant blooms, they make stunning cut flowers for your home. If you're looking for something more versatile and hardy, consider floribunda roses. They offer clusters of blooms, creating a burst of color that can brighten any garden bed. Now, if you're aiming for a romantic old-world garden vibe, David Austin roses might be your match. These roses combine the charm of old garden roses with the repeat flowering nature of modern varieties. Their fragrance is unmatched, making your garden not just a visual delight, but a sensory experience. But wait, what if you have limited space? Miniature roses are your best friend. Despite their small size, they pack a punch with abundant blooms and are perfect for containers or small garden plots. Next, think about your local climate. Some roses thrive in warm, sunny conditions, while others are better suited for cooler, shadier spots. Research the varieties that do well in your region to ensure your roses will flourish. Don't forget about disease resistance. Some rose varieties are bred specifically to resist common issues like black spot and mildew. This can save you a lot of hassle and keep your garden looking vibrant with minimal effort. And here's a little insider tip. Consider the bloom cycle. Some roses bloom once a year, offering a spectacular but fleeting show. Others, known as repeat bloomers, provide waves of blossoms throughout the growing season. If you want continuous color, opt for repeat bloomers. Choosing the perfect rose variety is like picking a canvas for your garden masterpiece. It's all about what speaks to you and fits your vision. Take your time, do a bit of research, and maybe even visit a local nursery to see and smell the roses up close. Remember, the journey of gardening is as beautiful as the blooms themselves. So choose the roses that make your heart sing and get ready to create a garden that will bring joy for years to come. We've chosen the perfect variety and prepared the soil, and now it's time to focus on two critical aspects of rose care: watering and fertilizing. These practices are like the heartbeat and nutrition of your roses, ensuring they grow strong, healthy, and bursting with blooms. Let's start with watering. Roses are thirsty plants, but they don't like to sit in waterlogged soil. Finding the right balance is key. Ideally, you want to water deeply and infrequently. This encourages the roots to grow deeper into the soil, making the plant more resilient to drought and heat. Early morning is the best time to water your roses. This gives the foliage time to dry out during the day, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. When watering, aim the water at the base of the plant rather than overhead. Wet leaves can lead to mildew and other fungal issues, so direct that stream right to the roots where it's needed most. How much water do roses need? Typically, roses require about 1 to 2 inches of water per week. This can come from rainfall or supplemental watering. During hot, dry spells, you might need to water more frequently. A good way to check if your roses need water is to stick your finger into the soil up to the second knuckle. If it feels dry, it's time to water. Now let's talk about fertilizing. Roses are heavy feeders and need a consistent supply of nutrients to produce those stunning blooms. Start feeding your roses in early spring when you see the first signs of new growth. Use a balanced fertilizer, something with an equal ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, like a 10-10-10 mix. Organic options like composted manure, fish emulsion, or bone meal are excellent choices. They not only provide essential nutrients, but also improve soil structure and promote healthy microbial activity. Apply these fertilizers according to the package instructions and be sure to water thoroughly after feeding to help the nutrients reach the roots. Throughout the growing season, continue to feed your roses every 4 to 6 weeks. As we move into midsummer, switch to a fertilizer that's higher in potassium and phosphorus, like a 5-10-10 mix. This encourages more blooms and helps the plant prepare for the coming colder months. One crucial tip: avoid fertilizing late in the season, typically after late August. You don't want to encourage new growth that will be too tender to withstand the winter. Instead, let your roses gradually transition into dormancy. Besides the regular feedings, don't forget about the benefits of mulching. A 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch around the base of your roses helps conserve moisture, suppress weeds, and gradually adds nutrients to the soil as it decomposes. Just be sure to keep the mulch a few inches away from the stem to prevent rot. Remember, every garden is unique, and your roses might have specific needs based on your local climate and soil conditions. Pay attention to your plants. They'll tell you if they're thirsty or hungry. Wilting leaves or sparse blooms can be signs that your roses need more water or nutrients. Now it's time to dive into 2 essential practices that will keep your roses blooming beautifully: pruning and protecting. Think of this as the fine-tuning that ensures your roses remain healthy, vibrant, and stunning year after year. Let's start with pruning. Pruning roses might seem intimidating, but it's an essential task that promotes new growth, enhances flower production, and keeps your plants looking their best. The key is to understand when and how to prune. The best time to prune roses is in late winter or early spring, just as the buds begin to swell but before the new growth starts. This timing ensures that you're cutting back any winter damage and shaping the plant for the growing season ahead. First, gather your tools. You'll need a pair of sharp, clean pruning shears, gloves, and perhaps a pruning saw for thicker canes. Sanitize your tools with a solution of 1 part bleach to 9 parts water to prevent the spread of disease. Start by removing any dead, damaged, or diseased wood. Cut these canes back to healthy tissue, making your cuts at a 45-degree angle, about a 1/4 inch above an outward-facing bud. This angled cut prevents water from collecting on the cut surface and encourages new growth to spread outward, promoting better air circulation within the plant. Next, focus on the shape of the plant. Remove any crossing or inward-growing canes to open up the center of the bush. This vase-like structure helps sunlight penetrate the foliage and improves air circulation, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. For hybrid teas and floribundas, aim to leave 3 to 5 strong canes and prune them back to about 18 to 24 inches high. Shrub roses can be pruned more lightly, removing only about 1/3 of the height. Climbers need a different approach. Remove the oldest canes and train the remaining ones horizontally to encourage more blooms. Now, let's talk about protection. Roses, like all garden plants, face threats from pests and diseases. The good news is that with a little vigilance and proactive care, you can keep these issues at bay. Aphids, spider mites, and Japanese beetles are common rose pests. Regularly inspect your plants, especially the new growth, for these tiny invaders. If you spot them, a strong spray of water can dislodge many pests. For more persistent problems, insecticidal soap or neem oil are effective and eco-friendly options. Black spot and powdery mildew are two common fungal diseases that can plague roses. Prevention is your best defense. Ensure good air circulation by proper pruning and spacing of your plants. Water early in the day and avoid overhead watering to keep the foliage dry. If you do encounter these diseases, remove and dispose of affected leaves immediately and consider using a fungicide labeled for roses. Another protective measure is mulching. A thick layer of mulch helps regulate soil temperature, retain moisture, and suppress weeds. It also acts as a barrier, reducing soil splash that can spread disease spores onto your plants. In colder climates, winter protection is crucial. After the first hard frost, mound soil or mulch around the base of your roses to insulate the roots. For added protection, especially for grafted roses, you can wrap the entire plant in burlap or use rose cones. And there you have it, pruning and protecting, two practices that go hand in hand to ensure your roses not only survive, but thrive. By taking the time to prune correctly and shield your plants from pests and diseases, you're setting the stage for a garden full of healthy, exuberant blooms. So grab those shears, put on your gloves, and show your roses some love. With these tips, your roses will reward you with a breathtaking display of color and fragrance. Caring for roses is a labor of love, but the rewards are worth every effort.